You're listening to Two Guys Talking Wine with Michael Pinkus and Andre Prue.
Michael.
Andre.
How the hell are you?
You poured Chardonnay before we got on the podcast.
I did pour Chardonnay before we got on the podcast. I've been busy doing like wine stuff while you've been gone in Italy, and it's the sort of thing where
I was doing wine stuff in Italy too. What a surprise.
What I mean, it's weird is it's just like I've been doing all of my wine stuff either with you or with Muroki, and then I do the odd tasting on Saturday with my friend Julia, but I haven't done a lot of like wine work in a little while, and I got to do something really fun over the past like 5-6 weeks.
Did you bathe in Chardonnay finally?
Pretty close. So I got to be a judge on the experts tasting panel.
Wow.
So
I didn't know you were an expert.
Yeah, me neither. It was actually like really flattering to get the invitation, but the theme this year for the experts tasting is Chardonnay. And over the course of about 5 weeks, me, 8 winemakers, 2 sommeliers, and 1 LCBO rep, who is also a fan of the podcast, a new fan of the podcast. And I apologize in advance for how hard we are on the LCBO because...
I'm not, but go ahead.
No, if you meet him, you'll understand. He's one of the good ones.
Look, there are nice people at the LCBO. I'm not taking anything away from them that way. But the organization, though, can still suck.
But yeah, so we tasted about 130 Chardonnays to select the wines that are going to be poured at the experts tasting. It was a wicked fun experience, but in the room next to where we did the judging is the Canadian Wine Library at Covey at Brock University.
Yeah.
Do you know about the Canadian Wine Library?
I do. I've walked through it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. So
they got a huge donation from Michael Vaughn, I understand, as well.
And they're still organizing it.
Oh, yeah, it was a big thing, yeah.
So I got a chance to taste through a bunch of very old Chardonnays in the wine library today. And I thought I would start things off by bringing one to enjoy with you. This was actually a little bit of a surprise because of how well it had held up. It is from Stoney Ridge. It is a 2002, made by Jim Warren. His name is on the bottle.
Etched on the bottle.
And I thought we would do maybe just like a quick taste and talk, and then we'll go through a bit. And I know we promised when we sort of did the rebrand a few years ago, we would do fewer shooting the It podcast, but like we haven't seen each other in months.
We haven't done one of these in a bit, and a whole bunch of things have popped up on my porch, and your stuff has been on your plate. I have an interesting story about Stoney Ridge Chardonnay. When I was starting out as a wine writer, very early on in my career, Stoney Ridge did invite me to a winemaker's dinner, and they paired an old Chardonnay. We didn't have camera phones at that point in time, kids. So I don't even know where I took the picture, but it was an old Chardonnay paired with a pear and truffle soup.
Cool.
And it was, if you ask me now, how many great wine pairings I've had in my life.
That would easily be one of them.
That was, yeah. I've got maybe 2 or 3 that stand out in my mind. That one, I'm all over it. I was like, I can't believe this went, they were just like a perfect match. And it was an old Chardonnay, like I want to go 8 to maybe 10 years old.
Interesting.
So it was really good.
So
I'm now looking at this one, which I think you said was a 2002.
It's a 2002, yes.
It is very dark.
Very dark.
It's got like a caramel note to it.
Yes.
Figgy. Little orange peel. Candied orange peel.
The nose is a little shy on it. Like, I think I might have to grab a couple other wine glasses. Because I know we got another couple wines to go through. Because I'm waiting to see when this is going to open up, because I literally opened up before we started the podcast. But I'm waiting to see a reaction to the palate.
Now, was this brand new, or did somebody put a Coravin through it? Because I saw that
Oh, it was Coravin. Oh. So what we did today is we Coravined a few bottles and then made some notes, and then this one followed me home.
Well, it magically appeared in my bag.
It was in my car.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Well, thank you, Barb, for allowing me to bring this home so we could use this to talk about the podcast, use it to promote the Canadian Wine Library. And for journalists and trade people who are looking for access to some old Canadian wines, certainly feel free to reach out to the Canadian Wine Library and talk to them about accessing this amazing resource for industry professionals.
I know we've talked about going there and doing something. I just don't think we've ever put our minds together.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. And now that I've been there and kind of see how it works and see how it's organized and see the work that goes into it, I've got some ideas. Because, I guess for me, it was kind of a little hard to decide what to do because we've done so many Stump the Chumps. It's just we've gone through a lot of old Ontario wines, and it's something that we've talked about. That was a nice thing about the exercise today, and I'll actually be speaking at the experts panel, and I'll be unpacking this a little bit more. It's been a fascinating thing to learn as a consumer journalist and now wine business owner, the sellerability of Canadian wines and notably Canadian white wines. We did that podcast with Christine a few years ago where, my cellar full of what I 100% stand by were banger Canadian Chardonnays when they were made had completely fallen apart in short order. So to have a chance to taste some much older wines and see them not having fallen apart, this is a 2002 unoaked Chardonnay.
Huh. So 2002, if I remember correctly, was a hot vintage. So, yeah, Jim probably would have picked this a little earlier than usual. But the acidity, the acidity is still there. Not great.
Great balance. But alcohol's 13.1. Michael, judging from the phenolics on this, because it really is pushing into tropical. It's like pineapple.
More like the dried pineapple and stuff. But
it's peach, like confected peach.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool to me because the fruit is actually still quite vibrant for a wine that's a quarter century old now.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I'm pretty surprised on that one. Because I would tell you that Ontario Chardonnay has about a 6 to 8 year lifespan. And after that, you're pushing your luck.
See, and I think that target has shifted a bit. I think you're looking at 8 to 12, depending on the producer. And I think this is when we're talking about the upper echelon. We're talking about your 16 miles, which was the only old Chardonnay from my cellar that stood up in the tasting we did with Christine. Your Cloudsleys, your Leaning Posts, your 2027 cellars, your Batch Elders. I mean, I could go on with a few more on the list, but that's the immediately comes to mind. Oh, Westcott. How can I forget Casey's great winemaking for wines that are structured for 8 to 12? I think for the stuff that was in my cellar, the back 10 cellars, the Featherstone, which are banger, lovely Chardonnays.
Early.
But you got to drink them when you buy them. Don't bother selling them. They gain nothing from it.
I know we're going to go to the experts tasting. You're going to be on a panel. I'm going to be there to heckle you. To be there to support you. And what I truly believe still is, if you like them, and this sounds like an Epstein comment.
As soon as you open,
if you like them young, drink them young. So,
but I mean, that's the cool thing about Chardonnay. It's the cool thing about the collection that I've built here is, I always have wines ready to go, right? Chardonnay, for the most part, doesn't need a ton of time. I like reductive Chardonnays; those need a bit more time to just come together. But a lot of that batch elder that I've bought year in, year out, if I'm craving it, it doesn't need to wait 5 years.
I really don't.
But they might in the future.
They might. I'd still stick with my 6 to 8 years. Look, I'm proven wrong on this 02.
Yeah, but I'm gonna agree with you. This is the exception. Exception.
I'm gonna say that's an exception. Okay.
So it's showing I'm getting nothing on the nose, which is too bad because I was super excited to share this with you because I know that you love wines of this style. It is the Divergence 2023 MRV. Do you know what MRV stands for?
I'm not even going to guess. Go ahead.
Marsanne, Roussanne,
Viognier.
Huh. This is from the Bach Vineyard on St. David's Bench, so a warmer site. And this is made by another fan of the podcast, Jeff Moote. I had a chance to go to a tasting that he did for Drink Collab. If you're not following Jeff on social media, you absolutely should so you know what's going on. Jeff is an extremely talented winemaker.
He makes great sparkling.
Great sparkling, really but also we tasted across the portfolio. There were definitely some clear highlights. This, to me, was the highlight. I think as everyone who listens to this podcast knows, I draw a tremendous amount of influence from France. The wines I'm drinking when they're not Canadian are French. And, for me, Ontario Viognier is always tasty, but I find it just in general sort of crisp, white flower, easy drinking, more complex than most of the Rieslings, but not as complex as what you get in the Northern Rhône. And I think what Jeff has done here is really push the limits of what's capable in Ontario with these grapes.
I like the acidity on this. I like that it's pushing on a finish that's close to bitter, like citrus pith, but it doesn't go over the edge where you're like, I don't like that. It's balancing out that wonderful fruit. And look, there's a winery in Ontario that used to make a Marsanne Roussanne. I believe now they're only making the Marsanne part.
You're talking about Q?
Yeah. And I hate that wine every year.
And it used to be very good.
It used to be very good. It's not. It hasn't been good the last few times I've tasted it.
So that's it, though, is we've got a rise of kind of the new keepers of the Northern Rhône-style here. Blackbank Hill also does really great Viognier from their vineyard.
Well, so I judge at the All-Canadian Wine Championships, and I have found some great Canadian Viognier, not just Ontario, but British Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
There are some great Viogniers that are being made across Canada. And I'm going again this year, and I look forward to finding those little gems that I will highlight on my video series when I get a chance. But this is lovely.
Which have gotten a lot better. I'll be honest. Like I know I generally give you a bit of a critique when they pop up in my feed.
Yeah.
You popped up in my feed today, and you were doing the Aaron Sorkin walk and talk towards the camera. You were doing a nice stroll through the vineyard. Your production value has gotten a lot better.
Yeah, believe it or not, it's a single camera use, and I have some great ones coming from Italy. So
can't wait. And then you and I are going to be doing some filming over the next few weeks because we're getting ready to unleash something onto the world. Round 2, it's coming, but that's all we'll say for now.
We also have some great podcasts coming up. We're going to be doing Sezekiah in person. So we're getting some in-person interviews. I know we've been doing the pseudo clip shows, and we have some of those coming up.
Clip shows are great.
During my trip in Italy, I ended up at Alos Alligators Summa again.
Yep.
And I hate to tell you, I didn't do a lot of Italian wineries. I did mostly French. So, because they see some French wineries there. Great story by Domaine Argent, I think it is. He's in the Southern Rhône. He's got a great story to tell. So we'll get to that. Did one from Chateau Roquefort. There's other ones that will be coming up. There's about 5 of those interviews.
Cool.
But
hey, listen, you glossed over the interview I'm actually super stoked about. We are going to get to sit down with the people from Nika, the Japanese distillery.
I haven't done that one. I was going to say we got Sezekiah coming in, so it's going to be really great. And then we do have. I think we're both pretty jazzed about this Nika one. I think that that idea came to us the last time we shot the It.
Well, it's when we did the tasting, and I think I found a whiskey where I could see your palate like level up. It was like a Pokemon evolving to the next stage, where it's just like. You tasted these whiskeys, just like, okay, I understand this, and I am excited to talk to them, just so people know like where we're gonna go. Is I want to hear about the identity of Japanese whiskey, because when I taste these whiskeys, it's clear they draw inspiration from Scotland. It's clear that Nika in particular draw a lot of inspiration from Islay. But I want to hear them in their words talk about how Japanese whiskey is creating its own identity outside of Scotland, or if they even care not to.
Well, I love the names we were given. One of them's name is Cozy. One of the guys who's coming in is named Cozy. I don't know if you saw that in the email.
I did not.
I was like, Cozy?
I was CC'd on others.
Oh, no, you were CC'd on that one, but it was just confirming that we are definitely doing it. And look, I'm excited about it too. I'm surprised I'm excited about it. But, I've tried a couple of Nika whiskeys, and I'm looking forward to tasting a bunch and talking to them about it, because when you do discover something like that, and it's interesting because I got off the plane yesterday, like the date that we're actually recording this one is May 1st. I did arrive home yesterday, and I had a pile of wines. The Rosé Report is well underway, and instead of pouring a glass of wine, I poured a whiskey. Now,
what did you pour?
It was an Irish whiskey, and it was one I picked up in Rome Airport. It was a Busker. The description was sweet and smooth. It's a single pot distilled. I didn't go with the spicy one because I thought, no, when I get home, I'm going to want sweet and smooth, not spicy and aggressive.
Since we're just kind of like bouncing around like all the stuff that's coming up, like let's give some content for what we're doing right now. So that Divergence was not a sample I bought and paid for. Can we just say, like, what did you think of the MRV?
I really liked that. I finished it pretty quickly, except for the last sip, which I did when you opened up the red wine, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. But I really enjoyed that wine. I look forward. I think, when I come over here, sometimes you make dinner. And
we got hamburgers on the bar for tonight.
So that may not be bad with a burger.
I think it'll be great. I do burgers with Big Mac sauce, homemade Big Mac sauce, cheeseburgers. I think it'll go well.
I think it should do well. So this wine, so when I'm unpacking the wines that have come, because I've been away for 3 months and I'm looking at the wines that come in.
This is actually a pretty cool label.
I like the label.
It's like a giant gold X. It looks like there's a piece of granite.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a rock, but specifically it looks like granite up on top. Very simple
It's almost
sans serif, no, like a semi-serif font that says very plainly Cabernet Gernischt.
So I'll tell you the origin story of this, first of all. A few years ago, I got the chance to take a Chinese sommelier and her daughter on a wine tour of Niagara. And the lady found out that I was a wine writer, so, but she didn't speak a lot of English. So her daughter did a lot of translating, and she basically asked if I wanted to taste some Chinese wine. So she did send one at one point, and I tried it. It was a nice wine. And I figured that was...
Sorry, a nice wine or an ice wine?
No, it was
nice.
a nice wine.
Okay.
Yeah, not an ice wine.
Sorry, I'm
ice
actually
wine.
I'm sure people listening will have my back.
Okay. But it was a nice wine. And this, like, literally while I was away, I get a text from her daughter again. She goes, my mother wants to know if you want to try another wine. And I'm like, sure. As long as, she's got it here in Canada, I'm happy to try it. And so when I was opening the boxes that had been sent, lo and behold, there was this bottle. I go, what the hell is this? Because I had totally forgot about it. And I read the back, and it's a Chinese wine. So this is a Cabernet Gernischt, and you looked it up.
Yeah, so I did a quick Google search, and it sounds like Cabernet Gernischt is genetically the same as Carménère.
Correct.
But the Chinese are staking their claim on it as an indigenous variety for them, which I guess from a marketing standpoint makes sense. Like China is a very young wine industry. And I'll be honest, I haven't heard anything about Chinese wine in a few years. And I was curious what the future holds for that industry, given that, the Chinese investment and interest in French wine has essentially collapsed. But I guess
I think they're focusing on their own industry is what I would assume is what's going on.
Yeah, but if there's no market for it, I'd be curious if you wouldn't have people abandon the industry.
I would think that the Chinese government is probably telling you drink Chinese wine.
And it's kind of funny because when the Chinese government tells you to do something, you have to do it.
Yeah, so it's 14% alcohol. I think you said the little characters at the top here, which may or may not be the winery, is dragon.
It says snake ball dragon, but that's a literal anglicization of the Chinese characters. I'm using Google Translate for this. All right, here we go here.
So, and
oh, geez. Okay. That is Giga Estates X Cabernet Gernischt, a premium red wine from Ningxia, China. Merauke and other Chinese people who may be listening to this, I apologize for the pronunciations. It is not cheap. Current listings, this was using ChatGPT, by the way. Current listings I found show Hong Kong 2,399 to 2,550 Hong Kong dollars. That converts to roughly $400 to $442 before taxes, shipping, restaurant markup, or import costs based on the current exchange. So if you saw it at a restaurant at a tasting, think of it as a serious prestige bottle, likely $400 Canadian retail equivalent, potentially much more on a wine list.
It says top 10. And again, there's some Chinese characters on
You know what? It is a lovely wine. I'm actually a little bit surprised because we did do a Chinese wine tasting many years ago with Andrew von Teichmann. This is definitely better than the last batch that we tasted, but I don't think this is worth the $400.
I would give you that it's not worth the $400. We just opened it. So there's a little bit of I don't know if it's me or there's a little copper taste at the end there.
I think it might be you.
Okay. I could be bleeding.
I'm feeling the tension in the wine.
Yeah.
I know people now are starting to hate the word tension as a tasting note, but it's almost like the pyrazine is there. If this is genetically parallel to Carménère, I would expect there to be pyrazine, but it is very well hidden.
Yeah.
The oak use is, I think, spot on. We're getting good hints of vanilla, but it's not overpowering. The tannin is crazy soft on this.
Yeah, it's pretty light. I'm trying to, I guess, figure out where it hits in the Carménère department.
For me, it tastes a lot like Carménère, but good Carménère.
Maybe on the finish. That's not a Purple Angel kind of thing, but I mean, it's... Purple Angel is a little smoother, almost a little sweeter.
I would agree with that.
This
But also,
one's a little drier.
When you get to Purple Angel, though, when you're talking about entry-level Carménère and it's Bell Pepper City,
yeah,
this is not that.
No, there's a hint of something savory, maybe herbaceous on the mid palate that I'm kind of enjoying.
But it's super buried under a lot of fruit. It's raspberry, it's black cherry, it's blackberry. It's got cassis, it's got like black currant, but like hints of it. That's not the main driving force.
Black raspberry.
It's not pushing into blue. It's definitely like red and black fruit. There's no blue fruit in this.
No.
Which tells me that it's really leaning into cool climate. Like cool climate feeling.
Hitting a little notes of sour in there too. Sour fruit-ish, red.
Yeah, it's cool. And I think it's cool.
The city's good.
Yeah, it feels like a cool climate wine.
So our lack of knowledge about China, but it is a big country. So it's a nice, again, I don't think it's worth the $400, but it's definitely a very nice wine.
Do you want to say thank you to the person who sent it to you?
I will. Thank you. That's the best I got because I'd have to look at my text messages.
Okay, all cheekiness aside, we really appreciate like people who listen to this podcast who are trying to help us expand our knowledge, and this is cool. Like it's nice when you get that off the beaten path wine and it actually tastes great.
You know what? That's another thing. If anybody does want, I hate to do a little plug like this, but if you ever do want to send us some wine that you think is really cool and you want us to taste it, we're happy to do that here on the podcast.
All right. Well, I'm going to let that sit in my glass because I don't want to go too fast. And you brought something else. Haha.
Yeah, I got some very interesting things sent to me, and I thought, you know what? Instead of me just sitting around like a booze hound and having them myself, I thought I would also share with you. And because I asked you, do you like cognac? You said you do.
I do.
And I ended up having a brandy sent to me from Doug Ladies. And it's a VSOP brandy from Georgia. Now, who the heck knew they were making brandy in Georgia? But that doesn't surprise me as much.
No, I mean, if you're growing grapes, then
you
can distill them. Let me just take a look again.
I think it's gone to the LCBO, so yeah.
Okay, so
Andre, our on-the-spot reporter.
No, I'm just taking a quick look because, like, I do enjoy cognac. I keep either a bottle of Courvoisier or Hennessy in the house to cook with.
I do not.
Because I've found that a lot of my French recipes that call for cognac when you substitute for brandy, and especially if you're buying the cheap Napoleon brandy that you have at the LCBO,
you
get that harshness in your cuisine. And like one of my favorite things to cook with brandy is a peppercorn sauce for steak.
All right.
If you use cheap brandy, it makes the sauce taste like shit.
Okay.
So I generally get something a little bit better. Cognac is a pain because I've never had anything above like just the entry level, which I think is...
You've never had a Louis XIII?
So I guess if we're doing the tequila comparison, a VS would be like a Blanco, a VSOP would be like a Reposado, and XO, extra aged for a minimum of 10 years, would be your Añejo.
Got it. Okay.
So this would be mid-tier.
You know what? It smells nice. Like it's got a sweetness to it.
Super caramel.
Wow. Caramel, vanilla. Now, you've already tasted it, so.
There's a lot of oak on this, but I'm not complaining.
No, you know what? For brandy, I think you need the oak, right? So
this actually tastes a little... It's got a bit of like the Canadian whiskey profile to it. Like it's sort of like a butter tarty taste.
I was going to say, it's got a sweetness to it, like a maple syrup, butter tarty. Yeah, actually, I don't mind that. So would you use that to cook with as well? Or would you go, no, it's not for a sauce?
I was just going to say, the finish is a little harsh on this. I think I might toss a little bit on ice. And that's the thing is, like, when I am drinking my Hennessy and my Courvoisier, I'm usually drinking it straight, neat. I also drink a lot of Calvados in this house.
I find that really sweet. And
yeah, okay.
It's got a kind of a, as I said, last night I had a Buskers. It's a burgundy label, single pot still. And it had it was super smooth. Don't remember, it was super smooth. This is also, I usually don't like cognac because this has a little bit of a harshness to it.
This does have a bit of it has a bit of a harshness, but it's very pleasant.
I don't get that harsh. I'm getting a lot of caramel, fig.
What has happened to your palate after several months in Italy?
Vanilla. Well, it's drink grappa. Anything below grappa.
Wait, have you been drinking grappa while you're there?
I had a few grappas, yes.
Okay, so this would be like...
This is nothing.
Like drinking silk compared to most grappa.
Oh.
Okay, this is not the harshest. But I'm just saying that it's got a bit of astringency on the finish that would stop me from putting this in a sauce.
Oh, I think it's a great sipping brandy. Yeah. I can't see cooking with it because I think it would make your recipe maybe a little too sweet.
Well, depending on what you're doing.
On stuff, I do. But I think I'd be more happy drinking it than I would saucing it. So
I think I agree with you. Like, it's sort of like a saccharine sweetness, like you said. Like, all the things we talk about are the taste of cooked sugar, butterscotch, vanilla paired with butterscotch.
I got a little maple syrup.
Maple syrup, right? Where, like, when you're drinking like a cognac, you get more of the fruit, you get the floral, you get a little bit of the grapiness that comes with it. All right. You brought one last thing.
I did.
This should be right up your alley. Oh, I don't think I want to drink any of that.
Okay. So there you go. You heard it was a can. This is from J.P. Weiser, and I guess they paired up with Canada Dry.
Which makes sense. That's enough.
And the last time, funny part, the last time we brought up Canada Dry on this series, it was about that mango peach drink that they had.
I still have a case. That's how slowly I drink.
I have 5 cans of it left. I saw it when I came home. And this is called whiskey, Canadian whiskey, and I'm reading the French side. Canadian whiskey.
Michael, I don't know if this is of your vintage.
Whisky canadien mélangé avec Canada Dry.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's because they couldn't call it what it actually is, which is a rye and ginger.
Yeah.
And that's what so many of my friends drank in university. You get to drinking age, you get a rye and ginger. When we were feeling fancy, like you'd get your friends together being fancy, you'd buy a bottle of Crown with the purple bag.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, JP Weiser's, thank you for sending the sample, but like Weiser's was the step down because it was a big square bottle. Although I know we interviewed Dr. Don and like the whole gamut at JP Weiser's, and we know premiumization is in full effect there. But I can't go back in time and tell me and my university buddies that you were mistaken. We should be drinking Weiser's instead of Crown Royal with our ginger ale.
This is very pleasant. Wow.
I'm annoyed at how good this is. But also, this is one of those, well, because, like, I don't know, it's a ready to drink, right? And it's just like most of them are not very good. You do need to be careful with this because it's 7% alcohol.
Yeah. So it's higher than I was going to say
higher than a beer.
But I mean, most beers, but these days with craft beer, you can get 7% easily.
The thing that might work really well with this with the higher alcohol is like, we're kind of, spring is slowly petering in. Like we've had like a long string of rain followed by rain. With more rain. Like I've been waiting to get my car cleaned for like 3 weeks now, and I haven't had 2 dry days in a row. In a backyard on a hot day with a glass full of ice like we did in Mexico. Just pour this in, let it dilute down a little bit so you're not getting the full 7%. I don't think you need to dilute.
You just keep the ice topped up on this.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is it's just if you put a 7% cocktail on a glass full of ice, that turns to 5% really quickly, and you don't have to worry about getting summer hammered on rye and ginger.
I'd drink this. I would drink this all day. And probably get hammered off of it. But yeah, that's very pleasant. I really like that.
I would probably have one before opening a bottle of Chardonnay.
Yeah, well, that's you. No, so thank you to the folks at, I'm assuming JP Weiser. I remember I answered an email and it said, would you like to try it? And
you always say yes.
I usually say yes. Why not?
I think I saw rye and ginger or like I probably got the same email that you did and just had the visceral response where it was just like, I am not going back to 2005. Been there, done that.
I'm all right going back, so I'm not.
Meanwhile, I'd rather drink the Weiser's 18-year-old that they sent us.
Look,
for the last
they're not. I would bet you they're not using Weiser's 18-year-old in this. It is probably a very young whiskey, but
I'll bet you not even that. It's just like knowing how strategic Dr. Don is at how he helps craft those blends. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something made
specifically
for this.
No, that makes sense.
You know what? Maybe I should fire him off a quick email and say, hey, Dr. Don, you responsible for this?
No, I bet you that's a marketing thing for sure.
But I've got Don's email.
But I like that they've, Canada Dry and Weiser's have actually paired up and, 2 iconic Canadian brands have gone
Go back to the
together.
Chinese wine after getting that sweetness in the rye and ginger. There's your pyrazine.
Oh, I can get it on the nose, too. You're getting a little bit of that green pepper going on.
Well, anyways, so this was 33 minutes and 25 seconds of nonsense. We hope that you enjoyed it. Michael and I are actually just really happy to see each other in person, and we've been in and out of communication. We got a few exciting things in the work. Nothing I think I want to reveal here yet.
No, we have some really good interviews coming up. So you're not going to hear a lot from us in this kind of forum. Let's say this.
No, we've been much more structured lately.
But I do think every few months, maybe every 6 months, we throw one of these in there.
It's kind of cool to I'm showing you mine and you're showing me yours.
Yeah, okay. Another Epstein thing, okay. All right. So I don't know where to go with that.
I'm Andre Prue of UnderWineReview.ca. You know, we're trying to raise the discourse, Michael. At Under Wine Review on social media. Remember, support this podcast, patreon.com/2guystalkingwine.
Well, I just wanted to quickly just say this. So, because they always say until you put it out in public, it's not real. So Andre and I are thinking about starting a Substack.
That was the thing I didn't want to say.
If you have any thoughts on that, let us know in the comments.
Nuts to that. You and I are doing it, but we're being strategic about it. I've missed writing. I'll be honest. I've been ready to pack it in for a while.
Pack it in for 10 years.
And I love doing the podcast because I get to hang out with you. And the thing is, I'll be honest, even if we weren't recording, we'd probably be having a lot of these conversations the exact same way. But you and I, we've put together a list of topics that I think are really exciting. And I've missed writing. I've missed being a little bit more critical. And I do the behind-the-scenes work of both podcasts, right? Of this and Tasting Together, where it's the editing, the polishing, which I love doing and I'm really good at. But I've missed pissing people off a little bit by getting them to think. So I think, if you guys have something that you really want unpacked, and here's the thing about the Substack is and actually as a consumer and as someone who's been a fan of your work for a long time, Michael, I've missed your newsletter in the way it used to be. But, much like we've tried to raise the discourse of the podcast, I think what you can expect from the Substack is stuff that's a little bit better researched, stuff that is linked out, stuff that's backed up with data. We are looking to take this wine criticism to the next level.
As journalists instead of as influencers,
and that's no shade at influencers. There's a lot of influencers who are working their asses off, but, an influencer is not going to be the one who turns the light on in the room that nobody wants the light turned on in. And there's still a lot of stuff in the wine industry that needs to be talked about because we care a lot about this. And if you're listening to this podcast, I know you care a lot about it too.
So what I was trying to get at before Andre got in his little soapbox and drinks more Chardonnay is that if there's a topic maybe that you want to look at, shoot us off either an email or something in the comments section. We always look at those. And if we can do it, we'll take a quick peek. Okay, so I'm Michael Pinkus of michaelpinkuswinereview.com. You can find me on social media mostly as the Grape Guy. You can see my adventures in Italy. There's more stuff coming out, but I remember waking up this morning and wondering where the hell I was. So, yeah, I'm glad to just, see familiar faces. And yeah.
Do you even know what time of the day it is?
Well, where I was, it's past midnight. Oh, yep, it would be.
So,
good night.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Two Guys Talking Wine on iTunes.
Two Guys Talking Wine is produced by Adam Duran and Ken Little.